Just came off my night shift last night and just got
All
home
right.
from so we'll be
All right, Grasshoppers. We got a special guest here tonight, near and dear to my heart. We just met each other. We followed each other online on Instagram. I think we're on LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, all that stuff together.
Oh, yeah.
So this is Kevin Porter, and I'll explain who he is a little bit. Kevin, how you doing, bud?
I'm well. How are you, Tom?
Excellent. So my father, I think I've told people a number of times, when we sold our farm way back a long time ago, he became a firefighter in the town of Brampton, which was the town we were at. And this young man here is also a firefighter. Are you a firefighter now or an EMT?
I do both. I work full-time for the city of Brampton as a firefighter, and I work as a paramedic for the region of Peel and for the York region. So
right.
I work a lot.
So if you guys follow him, this guy is, you talk about inspirational. His story is amazing. You're 42 years old now?
45.
45. Geez, I read an old story then. That must be like a 3-year-old story that I read there. You're 42. Getting old there, bud. So Kevin, he's so inspirational, and we'll get into the story more. But the bottom line is, his goal, on top of being a firefighter, EMT, and all that, is to make it to professional hockey someday. And at 45 years old, he won't quit. He's kept fighting and fighting. So he's in fantastic shape. You watch him training every morning, and I think I work hard, but I think you work twice as hard as I do. So good job by you. So let's go back then. So did you play pro hockey for a little bit at one time?
So it's been very intermittent over the past, I would say 10 years. And I mean, a lot of that has to do with my careers and being able to get time off. So I'll give you a quick, just a synopsis of how it started. When I was a young kid, I was 16. I lost my mom in a construction accident. I lost my nana 3 months before to breast cancer. And, that after they passed in, January and March of 1992, respectively, I broke my thumb in a tryout for the AAA team that was feeding the Kitchener Rangers of the OHL at the time. And so fast forward, got out of hockey for a couple of years, went back to school, became a paramedic and a firefighter. And I always felt like that was a good careers, great careers I always wanted to do, and also, playing hockey. But I felt at the time I really just needed to get to school and get something concrete. I worked as a firefighter and a paramedic for many years. And then in 2010, I had an accident in Brampton at work with my crew, and fell through the basement of a fire at a marijuana grow up. Everybody was okay, fortunately, but it kind of rattled me. And, right then I started to think, like, I've been missing hockey. You want to live life without any regrets.
Yep.
And I got back into hockey in 2010, and I just started going to some free agent camps in the U.S., Toledo, Reading, the Sharks out in California, not the San Jose Sharks. It was a Toronto Maple Leaf affiliate at one time. I traveled all over the States, going to free agent camps and trying to work at my craft and realizing I needed to get better and what I needed to work on. Played a few games in the Federal Hockey League through, mid 2000s, went to Sweden in 2016, played some professional Division III over there. 2 years ago, I was invited to Rapid City Rush main camp at the East Coast Hockey League. And then this past year, I was playing in the Federal Hockey League until COVID hit. So, I've dabbled a little bit, and I've just continued to work in my craft. And it's challenging with work, but I love the sport. I love the game. I love player development. I've used myself kind of as a guinea pig to, see how far I can push myself. And I've had some great mentors, both online and in yourself, and a lot of guys here in Toronto that have really helped push me and give me a lot of guidance.
So an old teammate of mine, Jim Thompson, has helped you out a little bit too, hasn't he?
I know Jim very well. He's a dear friend, and I've worked with Jim for a couple of years, and he's got the Tigers, and Jim has been a huge influence on my life, and he still is. I don't see him as much because he's doing a lot of on ice up in Aurora. My wife and I, we live down here in Burlington, so I've been skating in Burlington and in Toronto at the MasterCard Center. So
Jim Thompson's a great guy. He's one of those guys that maybe a lot of people don't remember, but he was mainly a fighter and everything like that, but huge heart. He was one of those guys who would take on anybody. So he was fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah, Jim is so much more than just a hockey player, and you really see that when you meet him. The long hairs, the muscles, the tattoos, but he's a giant softy, but he's a straight shooter. And, he's really helped me out, and he's a great man.
So at 45 years old, and obviously the firefighter, they've been pretty flexible with their schedule then, like you've taken off and going to camps and everything. You've worked that out with them?
Yeah. A lot of holiday time, a lot of vacation time and shift changes. And a lot of the time, like when I skate in the morning time, I'm coming off nights. So anytime you see me in hockey videos, and I don't currently have an agent, so I decided I push everything to social media in hopes of getting getting a tryout or an opportunity. So a lot of the times I'm coming off a night shift because of my days off. I'm working as a paramedic to make money to pay for ice. Hockey's not the cheapest sport, and it's just part of what I have to do right now, and I love it. So
we're gonna have to get your wife on here too. She must be a saint herself, right? Because giving up vacation time for your pursuit. I mean, I admire it totally, but obviously she's making sacrifices too, right?
Yeah, Ash. My wife's a nurse. She's at the hospital right now. They're managing. They have a lot of COVID stuff going on around here. So that's been a bit of a toll on both of us, and for all. I mean, for everybody. I can't just say healthcare workers because it's the mental health aspect of it. It's really been super draining for a lot of people, and you're really starting. I mean, we've been seeing it for months now, but you're really starting to see like people are just like they're over it. Unfortunately, it's just something we have to maintain vigilance, and as hard as it is, sometimes you just have to focus because the longer we drag this out, the longer we don't have hockey, the longer we don't have shopping, parties, weddings, get-togethers, and it's been tough on everybody. So
yeah,
unprecedented.
I'm sure it's the same up in Toronto as it is the rest of the world, really, but I think part of it is, now it's been going on for so long. I think people have almost gotten a little bit complacent, right? That, if they haven't got sick, they think they won't get sick. And again, it's not about just getting sick. It's about passing it on to other people. So it's, you're right.
Absolutely.
So, all right, you're 45 years old now. You've had this dream. Listen, I got to tell you, like, I really mean, I think everybody should go and follow you online and see what you're doing. It's very inspirational. Like, you're, like you just said, you work a night shift, at the fire station, and then you get up right away and go right without sleeping, go right and skate and everything. So I know people, again, it's just, especially right now, you're great for people because, people are just, like you said, they're fed up. They're tired of this, maybe they've lost their jobs. They feel like quitting or whatever. You're a good example of somebody that you just won't quit. I mean, it's just going to keep on going. Is that correct?
Yeah. Well, what's your option, right? I mean, if you really want to do something, you're going to find a way. And I'll be honest with you, when COVID started, it was really challenging on everybody. And, the rink all of a sudden closed. Well, March 13th was my last skate at MasterCard. And I knew, I'm like, okay, I'm not going to skate probably for the next 2 to 3 months. So I started actively thinking, how am I going to, there's no way I'm going to lose. I don't want to regress or digress, whatever the word is. I don't want to lose anything. I want to use COVID as an opportunity to lurch ahead. And I've been very fortunate. I believe I've done so. I mean, I've modified workouts. I bought an Airdyne bike. I was riding my Airdyne bike in the basement with my hockey equipment on, doing sprints. I was doing anything and everything. As crazy as it looked, I mean, it worked because, I did that for 3 months when I had no ice. I actually didn't get on rollerblades. I did different things. I did Muay Thai. I've taken Muay Thai for, 10 years. So I upped my Muay Thai again. I cut back on, the anaerobic lifting. I did a lot of sprints at the track, trying not to get caught by the bylaw officer, all these sorts of things. And just to try to prepare myself. So when the ice came back, I wasn't like, oh my God, I haven't skated for, 3 months. I was still in the same shape. It took a few practices to get the hands back, but no excuses. Like I don't have the time for that. So
yeah. That's excellent. So what do they think of the firehouse there? They got it, I mean this in a very good way. Like people must think part of it, they're admiring you, but this guy's nuts. He just won't quit.
Well, that's okay. Everyone's entitled to their opinion. And, I appreciate any support I get. And it's like anything at the end of the day, I have to answer to myself and my future coach and GM. So, and my teammates. So I just, I have fun with it. And, it kind of drives me too when people don't think you can do something. I'm going to say it's not the best way to operate, but no one's going to say it doesn't motivate you just a little bit. So
I remember growing up, I went off to college in Northern Michigan University. And so the first year I went there was the first year they had a hockey program. And we had a really I can't remember my teammate's name at this point, but he was a really good guy. We were just sitting around chatting around the dorm room one day, and we were all. It was the first year they had a team, so it wasn't like we were like at Michigan University or Minnesota or something. And he just made the comment. He says, "Well, nobody from this team's ever going to play in the National Hockey League," and I just about lost it. I was at the 18-year-old, and I just don't you ever say that to me again. I'm yelling at him, and I'm sure he thought I was nuts at that point too. But I'm like you. It was I had decided at a young age that I was going to play in the National Hockey League, and it's just nothing else was acceptable. And I think that really leads to other things in life too. For me, it's the other successes I've had. It's just that mentality where, okay, I'm going to be an agent. Well, I don't know how to do it right away, but I'm going to figure it out kind of mentality. And you're the same way with your stuff, right? You don't know how it's going to, we just have to keep working and see what happens, right?
Well, absolutely. And, I never thought, the Sweden thing was great back in, 15, 16. And I knew right there and then I could play at an even higher level. It was just like, am I going to quit my jobs? We make decent money and career and pension and benefits and, a wife and we're trying to build a family and stuff. And it's like, okay, what do I do? Do I quit for the opportunity to make, a little bit of money at something, or do I keep pushing it and see if I can really give myself the best opportunity? So when Rapid City called, that was an incredible opportunity for me. I didn't deliver, came very close, but it gave me an incredible amount of energy. And it made me, I was even more lit. Like on the way home, I was just raging to get to the rink. I made it to the last day camp and learned a lot of really wonderful skills and drills and all kinds of things when I was out there. And I could not wait to get home and go to the MasterCard Center and train, because, me.
And so what do the coach and GM, what do they say to you when they call you into the office and say you're cut or you're going to send you home? Coach
Tetro, he was just very, work on these things, work on that. We have a lot of players. Like there were guys coming into camp midweek that were traded for or picked up from wherever. And I knew it was going to be hard. Like the guys thought I was the new athletic trainer or the new fitness coach when I got to the room. I remember one of the guys, Garrett Klotz, he said, he says, are you the new fitness guy? And I'm like, no, I'm going to go on the ice with you guys. So it was a lot of fun. The guys are amazing. And I wish that group all the best. They've got a great staff and everything out there. And
it's got to be like if I'm a player in the locker room and I see you come in at your age and your conditioning level and the fact that you're not quitting, it's going to be kind of inspirational for these guys. If they don't understand it, listen, I can learn a lot from this guy here with this no quit mentality. That's pretty. Like if I'm a coach and GM, I want that around my guys too, right?
Well, I try to look at the age. I try not to think about the age, and I just I prepare so well. Like my nutrition, my sleep. The sleep is probably the hardest thing with work and my schedule, like my shift work and bouncing back and forth. But for any shift worker, it's challenging. So that's probably for me personally the biggest thing to get a hold of is getting proper sleep, because the mind's a go mentality, but the body has to be rested as well. The nutrition is pretty straightforward, but just getting the proper rest, working shift work, and then trying to train properly is a bit challenging. But I managed to pull it off. When you travel in the AHL, East Coast, NHL, you're traveling during the day and night, you're sleeping in weird beds and all kinds of things. So, everyone goes through it. I don't like to look at it as an excuse. I just do it because I want to do it. And that's the end of the story.
Yeah, I know the big thing now in all pro sports, but particularly in hockey, when they have back-to-back games, they made a big deal now about how much of a disadvantage the second night is. And I think myself, John Tortorella was one of the guys I heard talk about too. He said, no, we're not talking about that. Like if you start saying, okay, this is an excuse why we can't play as well. And now the numbers start to bear it out. But I think it's more because it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. You're talking so much about the fact that you're going to be tired the second night. You play like you're tired instead of just saying, that's what we have to deal with and let's go play. I'm not blaming the players for it. It seems like it's something that the media and the coaches and general managers and everything, it's just become now a norm there, where if I'm running a team like Tortorella, I think he said in the playoffs a couple of years ago, it's like, no, we're not talking about that. It's this is what it is. Doesn't matter the second night, third night, or whatever. Let's go play. Guys, firefighters, they do it all the time. They're up all night and fighting fires, and there's no excuse.
If I can come off a 24-hour shift or a night shift in ambulance, go to the rink, and burn a 13.56 second lap time.
Yeah.
You 20-year-olds playing,
Yeah.
don't complain about playing back-to-back nights. So I don't normally like to sound that aggressive. I'm pretty, but it is what it is. So,
Yeah.
you know what, this is real life, and you got to deal with it. And I think to get to that eclipse, to get to that mountain peak, and we all know what every hockey player wants deep in their heart at that level, you have to just find a way. There's no way fans or buts about it.
So for anybody that's just joining us here, this is Kevin Porter. My father was a firefighter in Brampton, Ontario. Kevin's a firefighter in Brampton, Ontario. So we get the connection there, connection with Jim Thompson, a former teammate of mine. Jim's a good friend of Kevin's too, who's helping train. So Kevin's was a player back when he was younger. Now he's still continuing to he is following the dream at 45 years old to still play pro hockey. So it's a great story for everybody. If you want to follow him, it's fantastic. His workouts in the morning and his dedication and everything. So it's great motivation for everybody. Have you ever calculated how many calories you're burning every day between working and training?
I don't even follow that stuff, Tom. I eat. I have a pretty set diet. I kind of just know what I need to consume. Sorry, they're doing tree pruning outside my house conveniently right now.
Yeah, I can't hear it. So we can't hear it. It's all good.
So yeah, I to be honest, I don't even really count it. I just I like to stay around 198, 197 pounds for skating. So I just kind of know based on instinct what I need to eat and when to pull back. And yeah.
Are you pretty good with your diet? Are you good on nailed down?
I do have a sweet tooth. I do have an extreme sweet tooth. But, we try to filter that during the week. And a lot of times, if you just don't have it in the house, you can't eat it. Saturday nights we'll have a little something. And, it's the time of year now, too, that people are going to indulge a little bit. But my training is so intense and volatile, if you will.
Yeah. So have you got a trainer or are you training yourself?
So I have a gentleman, Eddie Choi, who I met 3 years ago. Eddie's been helping me out. Coming out to most of my skates to help me with, passing me pucks. We do drills. Right now I have Adam Monroe, used to play for Chicago Blackhawks, is one of my goaltenders that comes out. And Adam currently plays for Hamilton Steelhawks. He played in the KHL. He's a fantastic goaltender. I've got kind of like a Rolodex of goalies that come out. Nick Peretta, Dave Wainwright, another guy that I work ambulance with. He'll come to the rink after nights too. And so it's been a real blessing to have some of these guys around for the help. You can't do it all on your own, right? Hockey is a team sport. You need people in your life, and they've been very helpful. So.
Oh, very good, very good. Well, so you didn't get hurt. You fell through the floor, and you did not get hurt.
I fell into a basement. Yeah, my partner and I, Todd, we made access into this house, and it was a grow lab that started in the basement, and the subfloor had burned out. So the second we went in on our knees to fight the fire, the floor broke and we fell in, and it would have happened to anybody. And it was just a big trigger for me. I've brought it up a few times talking to different people over the past, but you have these life events that they're triggers for you. And people always say, well, what was the defining moment that caused you to, play in the NHL, Tom, or go to med school or become a paramedic or firefighter or try to play hockey again. And that was one of the huge catalysts for me. So, I fell about 12 feet, landed on my back, right on my bottle. And Todd fell in on me and his face mask shifted. Another coworker took some smoke in, throwing us a ladder down. That's the inherent risks of the job. It's dangerous. It's an ultra hazardous job at times.
Right. No, I'm with you totally. Right. There's certain times you look back in your life, and I've said this a number of times on other podcasts where, for me, I wrote a book, in the process of writing the book's almost done now. And it really forced me to look back at those times that did kind of change my life, like mistakes I made and how did I fight through it. And, some young, stupid mistakes you make, but then you're like, and all of a sudden your dreams about doing something, playing in the NHL were kind of screwed up a little bit because of my actions. And now I've got to do something about it. Right. So, but it does teach you. I'm with you that there's a great old movie that Bucket List, I think with, I can't remember who's in it, two great actors. And it talks about how they're both diagnosed with cancer and to die. Now they go out and start doing the things that they wanted to do. And I feel, well, I don't want to have a bucket list. I don't want to wait for somebody to tell me I'm dying before I go do the things I want to do. So,
no, not advisable.
Yeah, exactly. Not advisable.
Do it now. And like I said, you can always, I say this a lot, I say you can always make more money. You can't buy more time.
Yeah.
Right? You need time to do things. and that's why I'm forging through this right now. I mean, I just like to compete. I want to get myself in a position I can compete at the highest level of hockey that I can. And what that's going to be, I don't know yet. I have an idea of what I can do, whether that offer presents itself to me and whether I can capitalize on it. I guess we'll see. But I'm not going to, at the end of the day, I don't want to say, man, I wish I would have tried harder. And hopefully down the road, there'll be residual things that happen. I'd love to get into player development down the road. And I think I have a really keen interest in that. And, I just love the game. So.
Yeah. Get one of your buddies here, I think, writing in here. Awesome, Portsy. Matthew McGuffin.
Matty, good Kitchener boy.
What's that?
Good Kitchener boy.
Oh, Kitchener. Is that right? Okay.
He's a hockey guy.
Good. Excellent. Good. I tell the story all the time. Talking to you from back, that's the area I grew up in, right? And I tell people, the draft is such a big thing now. The guys are all going in their suits to the draft and everything. And I was working at a horse breeding farm in Guelph, Ontario. The standard bred, with the buggies behind him a little bit. Yeah. And my father, he was on the farm, and he got a call from the Rangers at the draft day. And I was cleaning the out of the stalls, and
mucking.
Yeah, and he called me up to the farm, and the farm where I was working. Obviously, no cell phones back then, and told me I've been drafted. And I said, well, "What do I do now?" And he said, like the old farm boy he was. He says, "Well, get back out there and finish cleaning the out of the stalls." So that was my draft day. So it was a blast.
Mucking. Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's good stuff too. So you grew up right in that area too?
I grew up in Kitchener. Yeah, Kitchener, Waterloo. Kitchener, you got to say I was born in Kitchener, technically, but Kitchener, Waterloo being so close. Yeah, I kind of roamed around there and in Cambridge, Guelph. So that was that's where I grew up, and moved to Milton in 2005 because of work, and then we moved down to Burlington here in August.
Yeah, very cool.
August, yeah.
So where's the Hall of Fame? You got to go look at my plaque. I'm in the Brampton Hall of Fame too. You better be checking out my plaque someday. That's a highlight of that can be the highlight of your life right there. Checking out my plaque at the Brampton.
I'll take a selfie beside. I'm not a big selfie guy.
Yeah. Yes. Do that. You're gonna do that.
Yeah. Well, I think I found you in a couple of my dad used to get me the O-Pee-Chee books with all the stickers, and I know one day I found you and I sent you a picture of it.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, hey, look at the Micron molds or molded or something.
That's one of those things, when you finally turn pro. When you finally turn pro and you get your own hockey card, it's actually a pretty big deal. It's like because you're a kid all the time following hockey, all of a sudden you're on your own hockey card. It's funny stuff. It's good.
For sure.
Well, listen, okay, one more time, guys. I want to make sure, because the reason I wanted you on, hopefully we can help you in some way, but also the other people that are influenced by you. Like this guy's got a fantastic heart. He's 45 years old. Firefighter in Brampton, where my father was a firefighter, and he's still pursuing his dream of playing pro hockey again. He's already done it briefly, but he wants to try to do it again. So anybody, they've had a chance to check him out, particularly on Facebook and big on LinkedIn too, right? You've got doing a lot of stuff on LinkedIn, all your stuff.
Yeah, I can't even remember all the handles. I'm kind of on. It's like a litany of. It's a job in itself.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, but they're great tools. I mean, it's kind of the way of the world now. I had an agent briefly years ago, and that wasn't working out so well. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to just start littering my Instagram. It's free advertising. So, I never wanted it to look like, look at me. But I'm like, well, how else am I going to do it? I have to use it as a tool to highlight what I can do. And it's helped somewhat.
Well, like me, I'm totally impressed. I mean, if I'm wanting guys on my team, I want guys like you. Well, obviously, we need to have talented enough players to win. If I'm just like putting a team together, but it's the attitude, the culture you're built around the team too, and your work ethic and your dedication to your life is, like you said, don't wait till tomorrow to do something. Get it done today. So, great job. All right, bud. So we'll follow up, and maybe another few weeks we'll get you back on again. We'll see what's going on, but hopefully, getting rid of this pandemic and getting it done will help you too, right? Get the leagues going a little bit. I mean, it's not great timing for you having this as far as the pro game too, right? Because they're coming back on training camps and games and everything too. So,
yeah, the challenging part has been, keeping positive through all this. I mean,
right.
You've got, my goal this year was to get another East Coast tryout or somewhere else. And you've got 10, 11 teams with guys not playing. So there's, 120 guys, another 120 guys to compete with. But I've just tried to look at it as, what's my calling card? What can I bring to the table? What do I offer over, a 20-year-old? And obviously it's not career longevity. Well, it might be if I stick around with your team in a player development role, but what can I do? Can I have one really, really good year, or 2 or 3 really, really good years, and influence some young guys and some teammates? And that's been one of the biggest challenges, I think, of the pandemic, is just staying focused and not quitting. So
it's a great story, but it's an honor to have you as my friend, and follow each other online too. You're a true inspiration. So great job by you.
Thanks for having me, Tom. I had a great time, and have a wonderful day. I know you've already worked out.
Yeah, it's already done. Yep, already done. The reason I asked about the calories, like, it's funny, I do the fasting too, so I fast from 8 o'clock at night until noon.
Okay.
You're burning all the calories of your body. And I guess I burn about 1,000 calories every morning too. So it's funny. Like the old days, I didn't keep track of that at all. It was just how many cheeseburgers and beers could I eat and drink. Yeah. Right. Well, great to meet you. And we're going to keep in touch here, and this will be a good story. You get back into pro hockey.
Okay, Tom, thank you very much for having me, and have a great day.
See you, bud.
All right, talk soon.